Starts in 5, 4, 3. Can't live without my Starbucks Frappuccino drinks in the morning, so let's go to Walmart to restock. Let me see a good 6. All right. If you Let me see a good 6. All right, now it's 7. All right, 4. Let me see a 6. Let me see a 7. If you have not tried the Mabel Ben McLemore just got convicted of 3 of the 4 charges that he was going up against. This is sad, y'all. It's sad because your career is now over. Like, all that NBA stuff is out the window. It's to the point where ESPN even made a post about it. Like, it's done for. You're done. Y'all clearly see what it says. I shouldn't even have to explain it. But as I was reading the comments, guess what I read? Someone asked a question about the female that it happened to. Someone also made a very good point about it too. And the point was she intoxicated? You gotta think about it. This happened at a house party, y'all. Y'all know how house parties get. I don't even gotta explain that. If I need to explain that, you need to go and just go to another video. Anyway, we know how them house parties go. People be intoxicated, people be all over the place. If she was intoxicated, you shouldn't have done it. One thing about that, if you're dealing with someone in general that's intoxicated and you're 100% stable, you don't want to mess with that. Because when you're intoxicated, you're a totally different person. A lot of people have different tendencies. And sometimes stuff that they be on when they're intoxicated, like they don't be on that when they sober. I'm not saying that this is what happened. Because if that is true, we would never know. But you gotta look at these charges, bro. You're dumb, bro. And it's like nothing that we can do about it. You have to realize the type of person that you are. I'm talking about bad. When you're in the NBA, when you're a professional sports player, athlete, whatever you want to call it, a celebrity of some sort, you have to be careful. Because there's people out here, there's predators out here that's looking for you to slip up so they can slide in. Like, you really got to be careful with stuff like that because people really be out here, they will really ruin your career just so they can get some money. Tell me I'm lying. We don't seen it happen so many times. It's happening right now with other situations. We ain't gonna talk about that. What y'all think about this, man? I think this is It's universal scrubber for pressure washing.
Update 1. My wife's toxic friends convinced her to disappear for a week to teach me a lesson about not helping enough around the house. But when I came home to find her gone with no explanation and thought something terrible had happened, I called the police and filed a missing person report, only to discover she was hiding in her sister's house laughing about my panic with her friends who filmed my breakdown for social media. Emma came to the door looking sheepish but not nearly as apologetic as someone should look after putting their spouse through 4 days in hell. Behind her, I could see Melissa and Ashley sitting on the couch, looking like they'd been caught doing something they shouldn't. Can we talk? Emma asked. 4 days, I said. 4 days.
Now, Sherelle, now is not the time to be playing with sanitation workers when you got the whole city smelling like funky drawers. Here's the NBC Philadelphia because they're showing us all these images of literally people throwing their trash on the side of the road because currently the city is having a standoff with sanitation workers. Now, apparently the sanitation workers are working for higher wages. They're currently living just below the poverty line, and this is the reason for the standoff/strike. Now, to combat that, the mayor has set up designation dump zones around the city. Now, the dump zones are scattered about the city, and essentially just take your trash there and throw it on a curb. Now, things you need to know about the sanitation strike before the 4th of July because it's going to affect you if you live in the city of Philadelphia. The strike started on July 1st. It consists of about 9,000 employees. That includes the water department, police dispatch, sanitation workers, as well as at the airport. Now, unfortunately for the mayor, having a sanitation strike around a holiday is crazy work. And in case the mayor forgot, the birthplace of America is in Philadelphia. So you're going to imagine millions of people are going to flock into your city on 4th of July weekend to get a little American spirit, which is really bad When you don't have anywhere for the trash to go, imagine inviting tourists, which actually help boost the Philly economy, to your city, and it's covered in garbage. This is so bad for the mayor. I'm sorry. I would be so absolutely embarrassed welcoming the birth of the nation with a pile of garbage in front of City Hall. Because, girl, you got about 24 hours to figure this out. If not, people are going to be celebrating America's birthday swimming in garbage. Now, Sherelle, now is not the time. Now, in the past, who could actually take the century? One person. Yeah. Gang is so crazy. I know most of y'all don't even know who the fuck they talking about. Like, I didn't know what they was talking about. I forgot about that bitch until I had to start thinking. I'm like, wait. Roblox games that died from two. So first up, we got the normal elevator. This used to be that weird little fever dream on Roblox that had you riding an elevator straight to hell, a SpongeBob concert, and a huge toilet. But now, 600 players on a good day. Why? Because the dev said, yeah, I'm good on this. Made the game open source, but for the longest time, people only came to that conclusion because the game wasn't being updated. Until the game was apparently made uncopy logged, which basically confirmed that the developer was probably stepping away. Sad stuff. Then Roblox dropped updates that had the floors bugging out, features just stopped working like they forgot how to exist. Whole game started falling apart like Jenga, and guess what sealed the deal? Roblox's removal of copyrighted music. Next, we got Ninja Legends, or aka Simulator Crack. This game had you punching air and leveling up like a Dragon Ball fan with no patience. But then, boom. No update since 2021. Script Bloxian said, I made my bag, y'all be easy, and started dropping Muscle Legends and Legends of Speed like nothing happened. But if I'm being serious, he most likely considered Ninja Legends to be complete as there was a sequel which ironically has way less player than the first one. Now, the game being not updated for a while obviously drifted the player base, but also the crashes and bugs that plagued Ninja Legends in its final stretch of development caused a lot of players to just stop caring. Roblox games that died part 2. So first up, we got the normal elevator. This used to be that weird little fever dream on Roblox that had you riding an elevator straight to hell, a SpongeBob concert, and a huge toilet. But now, 600 players on a good day. Why? Because the dev said, yeah, I'm good on this. Made the game open source, but for the longest time, people only came to that conclusion because forget, I had my phone call with God, and when I was talking to God one day, I said, God, I thank you in advance for everything that you have promised to me. I know that I'm amongst the faithful. So tell me why some bitches just started jumping my girlfriend talking about it's over a nigga. So I jump in and beat her ass too. What nigga they talking about? Boy, you got me fucked up. It's Crystal, keep stuffing that bitch. Hey, Angel, get the sock with the batteries in her. That hoe. So tell me why some bitches just started jumping my girlfriend talking about it's over a nigga. So I jump in and beat her ass too. What nigga they talking about? Boy, you got me fucked up. It's Crystal, keep stuffing that bitch. Hey, Angel, get the sock with the batteries in her. That hoe. So tell me why some bitches. Oh, no, no. They were my father's. He was a paratrooper back in World War. Capture cards is a waste of time, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, I'm not buying a computer. This PS5 right here is already 500 and some change, so why do I need to spend that twice to get something nice? Ain't happening, fuck up. I got a microphone that comes with a boom stand, easily attached to my PS5, just like that. And with the camera right here, people can see me streaming. Look, it's literally just like a PC, except PC can do just a little bit more, but I really don't give a damn. Then when you're done streaming, you can go to Twitch, go on your clips, figure out what you want to put on there. It got the gameplay at the bottom, and you got your camera on the top. All that doing it with a PS5. Why do I need to buy a computer? I'm not doing it. Like I said. Did y'all see the video of the Burger King employee throwing a drink in this lady's baby's face? Basically, this lady was at Burger King and the food came out undercooked. She couldn't eat it. And for some reason, the place was going back and forth with her, talking about they want to give her a refund. When she gave the people the receipt, apparently they ripped it up. And they refused to give her money back. The lady with her kids sitting right there was like, give me my money back before I turn it up. Everybody inside the Burger King was looking at the situation like, man, this lady, bro, whoa. She need a refund, bro. The food is undercooked. Y'all did this. What is going on? After the people started supporting the lady, the people behind the Burger King start getting hostile. And I'm sitting there like, there's a glass in between them, a plastic cover. You know, the one of those COVID covers? It's still there. Behind that cover, there was a Burger King employee that was like, look, this lady has been cussing me out, talking about me being wrong. I gotta get some type of get back. And the get back she got was through the little cubby hole that you could talk to transfer the money and the food. And on the other side of this hole was a baby. That lady said, yeah, here's my chance to get my get back. And, man, when she did that, things went to all hell. The woman that was mad about the... Guys, no one's talking about how much we spend on Libby sometimes when we can get the most amazing deals at drugstores. So I think that's going to be like something in the future. I need every copper color person in the world right now to share this video until we get justice for Jordan Hill. As y'all can see in the caption, this coward right here, ran this little boy while he was riding this ATV. And not only ran him over, he unalived him. And after he unalived the boy, he went back to the scene just to get his mirror. And he ain't been charged with nothing. They ain't gave him nothing, but they charged him with a little bit of green. And he got another little charge, DUI or something, but they didn't give him the main charge. He don't even have a manslaughter charge. We have to get justice for Jordan Hill. I need everybody to like. Should you own a gun? No. You should own several guns. All right, look, I get what you're saying here. Brandon said you were looking for somebody that'll take the fame for you. Take all the fame. ADG. Hi, my name's Jordan. I'm 22 years old, and my mom is making me pay $700 in rent. Or so I thought. I'm currently in community college where I have a 3.9 GPA, and I also have a full-time job working in the State Department. When I was 18, my mother told me I had 4 years to try everything and anything without no real-world responsibility. And I was able to live at home rent-free if I went to school and had a job. But the catch was I was responsible for paying for my schooling, and I only had 4 years to figure out what I really wanted to do. I started a trend of applying for classes and simply withdrawing them later because they conflicted with my work schedule, so I wasn't able to pay for the classes that I was going to school for. Now listen, I take full responsibility for my shortcomings/failures early on in my adult life. I simply didn't follow the plan that my mom had envisioned for me. And with that, she always told me that there would be consequences. One being starting July 1st, I paid $700 in rent to her. That was until she raised it by $200, accumulating to $900 to her every single month. And told me the day before that she was upping it $200. I was sick. My father and my dad told me that this was no longer a teaching moment. He couldn't let me go through this knowing that I actually had a plan and I was on target to reaching my goals. And that's how I'm able to stay with him for $200 a month and just wants active updates on my grades and my saving goals to make sure I stay on track. And in that moment, it was such a relief to know that someone still believes in me. If you're having problems with your car and need help diagnosing it, do not. As young men, a lot of times we get trained to yourself like, wait. Who's we, gang? Don't have me into that weird ass shit you got going on with your family, folks. You got a family full of weird ass, creepy ass niggas, gang. We don't do that around here, boy. Niggas in your family really passed it down and say like it's fucking family heirlooms, nigga. Family treasures, nigga. Hand-me-downs. I'm cool, gang. We respect women over here. That shit's wild, gang. You really just tried to put me and my people in that shit. Like, yeah, get somebody up. Let's keep going on tonight. You asked him? Bro, I don't got nobody on this line. Man, I got the whole city in my contact. Like, yeah, get somebody up. Let's keep going on tonight. You asked him? Bro, I don't got nobody on this line. Man, I got the whole city in my contact. Like, yeah, get somebody up. Let's keep going. That's literally just living. Okay, so there's a 19-year-old pilot who flew into Antarctica solo without permission on his Cessna plane, and he has since been caught and detained. Ethan Woe is 19. He set out on a mission in May of 2024, flew out of Memphis. He wanted to go to all 7 continents, and he's been documenting his whole process. He has a huge IG following, and he's been doing a great job. He's gone to over 60 countries. However, he landed in Chile. He submitted flight information saying he was going to be flying over the city of Punta Arenas. Next thing you know, he lands in Antarctica, and the authorities are furious. They're like, you have no authority to be here. You don't have any permissions, any permits, and they have detained him. Now, they're going to be sending him back over to Chile, where he'll be detained for another 90 days pending further investigation. But it causes people to wonder, because this man was doing a great job. All of this was for research purposes, because he has a cousin who has Hodgkin's lymphoma, so he wanted to raise cancer awareness and raise over $1 million to research for cancer. But once he landed in Antarctica, everything has come to a halt. But it makes people wonder, why is it so hard to go to Antarctica? And the fact that all countries don't agree on anything. This is the one continent that they all agree on, that nobody can access. Over 30 countries have bases there. Considerably, they say it's for research purposes. But no citizen can just go and take a flight to Antarctica. You can't take a boat there. You can't just visit there without permit from the country from which you're flying from. What do you guys think about that? A truck full of children's bodies. I mean, this is horrible. A horrifying incident took place at a gas station in Michoacan, Mexico, where the woman worked inspecting semi-trucks. This specific truck pulled in, and something seemed very off about the driver. He was very nervous, tense, and sweating profusely. The woman noticed that the truck's back door was slightly open, so she decided to take a look. She slowly opened the door and immediately burst into tears. Inside were hundreds of children's bodies piled on top of each other like food. She also saw a lot of blood on the floor, and that's when she noticed black plastic bags. And when she took a closer look, she noticed they were stuffed with severed limbs. They were filled with small arms, legs, and even heads. This video was taken shortly after, and she is seen gasping for air and can barely even stand up. And what's even more horrifying, just days after this video surfaced, this woman was found chopped up in a suitcase left in a parking lot. And next to her remains was a message saying, "This is what happens when you saw what you shouldn't have. Don't put a trunk full of children's lives." I mean, this is horrible. A horrifying incident took place at a gas station in Michoacan, Mexico, where the woman worked inspecting semi-trucks. But on this day, this specific truck pulled in, and something seemed very off about the driver. He was very nervous, tense, and sweating profusely. The woman noticed that the truck's back door was slightly open, so she decided to take a look. She slowly opened the door and immediately burst into tears. Inside were hundreds of children. Oh.
Took away my dad's girlfriend's house key after she tried parenting me, insisting I go to bed as a 21-year-old. For context, I 21F, have 4 siblings, 10 to 26 years old. Our uncle has been our legal guardian since our mom passed, and my dad has been out of our lives. My 23 years old brother and I are home for the summer from college. My oldest brother lives in the city. Since we've come home, my uncle's been away on a work trip, so it's just been me and my siblings around the house. Further context, my dad used to be a problem drinker and was basically estranged for half of my life, very limited contact, and growing up it's always been my siblings and I taking care of each other. For the past year or so, my dad has been wanting to reconnect with us, mainly my younger siblings.
19 people got kicked off.